Alright everybody, another video here. This will be a spearfishing video. This was a dive out to Anthill oil platform. We're heading out of Packery here. There's Captain Felix. Multiple persons on board. We got Lucia, we got Adam, we got Sean on the front. Another gentleman in the boonie hat here. I'm not sure of your name, sir. Sorry. Again, we're heading out of Packery Channel here, out of Corpus Christi, Texas. See the fisherman line in South Jetty here. We're going to head out to Anthill. There's two rigs at Anthill. They're both cut at 40 feet. One has a buoy, the north one. The south Anthill does not have a buoy on it. You have to get underwater and tie to the rig itself. So on this trip we're heading out. You can already see it's already a little bit bumpy here. Well, it's not a smooth ride out, but sun coming up here. Kind of took us a while to get out there. Again, it's about 35 miles from shore. It's just right about 200 feet of water. Again, at this speed, probably a couple hours to get out here. But we weren't in any hurry, so it's going to be a 3-tank dive. Again, it was to do some spearfishing. Amberjack is closed. Red Snapper is closed. So this is going to kind of be for pretty much anything else that might swim up here. Getting ready to roll here. We're already tied to the buoy. Roll. It's best to hand the gun to the diver once you're in the water. I'm going to clip that off. Always have a clip on your gun. I'm going to need my hands for the descent, for deflating my BC, inflating my BC, holding the line, whatever. I highly recommend you clip that gun off. Don't try to carry that gun down. But rolled off the boat, got the gun clipped off. I'm going to pull myself to the front of the boat here. I like to use lines for all of this. I hate swimming into the current. I'm deflating. I'm letting air out of my BC. I'm going to narrate this video assuming some of you guys probably don't scuba dive. I imagine a lot of you guys do. It's just natural for me to assume all of you do, but I guess that's not necessarily the case. So I'll kind of give some scuba information in this video. So top 20 feet here, I'm at the buoy. The buoy's actually below the surface because the chain down below is hung up on the rig. See all these moon jellies coming at me? These are all in the top 20 to 30 feet of water. I'm about to get below them here in just a second. You won't see any more moon jellies till I'm heading back up again. Coming down, we're on the corner. See where the chain's kind of hung up in that corner there. It's a little shorter than it should be, but because it's trying to float and it's subsurface, which probably happened during like a large wave or swell, now that it's under tension, it's kind of just stuck there. So I'm going to sit down here. I'm at 40 feet. These are the horizontals. My band just broke. So I'm going to pull that out right off the bat. Lost the band. This is actually dive 2. I did dive 1. I'm not including any footage of that because I didn't shoot anything. Kind of just went down, took a look, came back up. I broke a band on that first dive, loading the gun. Did a surface interval. Put a spare band on the gun, came back down, and just now when I was loading it, I just broke another band on the gun. So I'm back down to 2 bands again. So this is going to be a small fish hunt anyway. I'm not going to shoot any amberjack or anything big, so the 2 bands will be plenty for anything I plan to shoot at. I did see lots of gray snapper and vermilion snapper down here on dive 1. So the plan is get down here, this horizontal you see coming, kind of panning around, just looking around for what might be swimming toward me. Cobia can kind of just come out of nowhere, as well as other fish. I'm at 94 feet. I've got 18 minutes of no deco time left to be at this depth. Of course, that's going to keep decreasing as I continue to descend here. This pipe I'm approaching, that's horizontal. It's kind of hard to tell perspective here a lot of times. This is a horizontal pipe. There's an anode on top, the white looking thing there. I'm at 120 feet basically at this pipe. These fish, these are all gray snapper. All of those gray snapper. Those are all decent fish, all shot worthy. I'm trying to get a vermilion. That's a vermilion here swimming away from me. Doesn't really want to give me a shot. I was kind of set on getting a vermilion. I haven't shot a vermilion in a while, and I kind of just wanted to shoot one. Cuban hogfish. These guys with a yellow tail. You're going to see some Spanish hogfish in this video, but they tend to be shallower. Down here deeper, these are all Cuban hogfish with that yellow tail. Notice there's no yellow on the belly. That big one there is a Horseye Jack. Lots of grays. There's a Vermillion there. Gives me a shot and I take it. These guys don't get very big. This is actually a decent one. I would say he's big. I've shot him quite a bit bigger, but I'll take it, right? So again, I'm down at 120 feet. I'm very limited on my time down here. I'm very limited on my air and on my time. So as a scuba diver, I have a limited amount of air that I can breathe before I'm going to run out. Obviously, that's a top concern. But I also, because I'm breathing air under pressure, I'm absorbing more nitrogen than I was when I was on the surface. So I have to get rid of that on my way back up. And if I don't get rid of it slowly through normal respiration and let my body get rid of it, if I come up too fast, it could come out of solution like opening a soda too fast, and I get the bends, which is nitrogen bubbles forming in my body, right? So I have a time limit and I have an air supply limit. I'm at about 2,500 psi here. I've got 6 minutes of time remaining. I've only been down here underwater for about 3 minutes. It's not much time. I'm going to get about 3 shots. That was one. I got down here, immediately shot a fish. I'm going to string them, get the gun reloaded as quickly as I can. If I'm lucky, I'll get 3 shots off before I have to head back up. And this is dive 2, so I am a little bit shorter on time than I was on dive 1 because I still have some residual nitrogen that my body hasn't got rid of from that first dive still. It takes a long time, about 12 hours to get rid of all of it. But again, it's imperative you're quick at this stuff. You need to be able to reload quickly, get your fish strung up quickly, and then get it ready for your next shot because you're going to run out of time very, very fast down here. So I got him strung. I'm at 123 feet. I've got 5 minutes of time remaining. My computer's blinking. It's beeping at me. It's telling me, hey, it's time to go because I've asked it to tell me that when I have 5 minutes of time remaining. I cannot let the clock reach 0. 0 means I'm in decompression status and I do not want to be there. So I need to be gone before the clock reaches 0. So I'm at 5 minutes. I've shot 1 fish. I need to be gone before the 5 minutes is up, so I probably have about 3 minutes. Again, I'm kind of scanning around. Spanish and Cuban hogfish. I see some vermilion in the distance. There's a really big Almaco Jack here. It's probably the biggest Almaco Jack I've shot. It might be the biggest one I've seen, but that's a pretty good Almaco there. He's going to fight me a little bit. Barracuda's going to come in. He wants to take a look. Of course, I'm going to try to pin him down and get him under control before that Barracuda gets too brave. I'm going to try to get my fingers into his gill plate, under his gill plate. Got my thumb. I got a big fistful of his gill rakers. I'm going to take the knife out. Just kind of brain him. That mouth is going to open, lets me know he's done. Of course, the other little Almacos are going to come up. Wonder what's going on. 123 feet, 4 minutes time remaining. But before I do anything else, I'm going to get him on the stringer because it's clipped to me. He's dead. He's not going to fight me. Now I'm going to get the shaft out. I'm going to kind of leave this intact. Pretty much this whole entire first dive on the video here, I'm going to leave this pretty intact. I usually edit a lot of this stuff out, like reloading the gun, kind of just jump back into the action here. But some of you guys may be interested in seeing some of this stuff and some of the problems that get encountered and just how long this takes. Again, I've only got 5 minutes down here. I just shot a second fish. You know, it takes a good solid minute or two just to get this gun reloaded if I do it really quickly. If I'm slow at this, I'm going to run out of time before I ever even get a second shot off. Now what I'm doing here, I've got 2 bands. I've got 3 notches. I'm missing 1 band. So I'm loading the first band I'm pulling back. I'm putting in the middle notch or the second notch back. And then the second band I'm pulling all the way to the furthest notch to give me the most power that I can get out of these 2 bands here. Got this clipped off. I'm probably, I'm down to 2 minutes, 2,000 psi, which is plenty of air. But I'm going to run out of time pretty quick. I'm going to start heading back to this corner that I'm going to use to make my ascent. I'm going to kind of get over here and follow the horizontal pipe, or the angle pipe, I should say. It's at about a 45-degree angle. You got horizontal pipe, which is the one I'm following now. You got vertical pipe, which is the four corners. And then in between, you got like X's between a lot of these vertical pipes that I would probably call angle pipe, right? So that's what I'm coming up here. Angle pipe's about a 45-degree angle. Get to the corner here, lots of grays. 2 minutes of time remaining, 117 feet. Now, as I come up, the computer's going to start giving me credit for getting shallower. I'm going to be taking on less nitrogen. So what's going to happen is the computer's going to start giving me more time. I'm already gaining time. Now I'm at 108 feet. I've got 3 minutes that I can be here before I get too much nitrogen. All right, but I'm going to continue to ascend nice and slow. I want to let that nitrogen come out naturally through my breathing. If I come up too fast, I can get the bends. Right, so that's why I'm coming up real slow here. It's going to take forever. 120 feet is pretty deep. Right, I'm just kind of using this chain here. I like to hold on to stuff. It helps control my speed coming up here. I'm not going too fast, not going too slow. 86 feet, 6 minutes of time remaining. Now as I get shallower, my air supply is also going to last longer because it's becoming less dense as I get shallower. It will last longer. So as I get up here, I'm going to go all the way up to the horizontal, the next set of horizontal pipes, which is at 40 feet. By the time I get there, I will probably have lots of available time on the clock, and whatever air I have left will last quite a bit longer than it would have at 120 feet. So I can push this dive and get quite a bit more time out of it. Even though I've ran out of time down at depth, I'm out of time. I can't be down there any longer. I can go shallower, continue to hunt a little bit shallower because I'm not taking on nearly as much nitrogen. Stringer getting in the way as always. Somebody on this trip made the comment, you know, normally around coral reefs and things like that, it's don't touch anything. On a rig like this, the rule kind of is touch everything, right? You're going to see me grab this rig a lot. These are all basically oyster shells. There is some sponge and stuff like that growing on it. I'll try to avoid grabbing the sponge and any of the delicate stuff. I try to just grab the oyster shell, but that's mostly just oyster shell. Lots of current as I get up shallower here. 50 feet, 37 minutes of time remaining now. Of course, now I'm going to worry about my air running out before I'm going to hit that time limit, right? So on my nitrogen load, I can stay 37 minutes, but my air is going to run out first. So now, instead of my bottom time being in control, my air supply is going to be in control. And I'm just under 2,000 PSI. I'm probably about, I think it was around 1,800, which is a little over half. I'm diving aluminum 80s on this dive. Coming up to the corner where the chain is. I'm just going to kind of swim across the top here. Other divers hanging out. There's Lucia. It's kind of hanging. There is quite a bit of current up here at about 40 feet and above. The current is pretty strong. There's not much of that current down below. You can see the sediment kind of, I'm just kind of drifting with the current here, and you can see it blowing past me even with the particles. Kuda's going to come up and get real brave on me. Fish in the distance there, I think those are horse-eyed jacks. Those are very common on the rigs here. And pretty much any rig. Of course the barracuda as well. Spanish hogfish. You see this coral, this yellow looking stuff, and they look like polyps. They are polyps. This is an invasive coral. It has kind of taken over here, and it's just growing everywhere. It's kind of pink and yellow. You can't tell in the video. The color's kind of muted because of the water filtering the colors out. I don't have a light source with me, but they tend to be very pretty looking. When you see it shallow, it's like real pink and yellow. Real pretty looking, but it is an invasive coral. 42 feet, 68 minutes of time remaining. I've got 1,500 PSI. That 1,500 PSI is going to control the dive here. That was a rock hind. Those guys are okay to eat. They're a little chewy. Not my favorite, but they're edible. No limits on them. This blue stuff here is sponge. See this white feathery looking stuff here and there? Those are hydroids. Those will sting you if you touch them with your bare skin. Got a moon jelly here pinned to the rig by the current. That's how strong the current is. There's a bluehead wrasse. Those small yellow fish are female bluehead wrasse. And again, I'm just kind of swimming the perimeter of the top of this rig here, looking for any gray snapper that are, trying to catch them slipping. And I'm just moving around just to give each corner a break, because sometimes if you're not in a corner for a minute, some of the fish will come up to that corner. There's a bristleworm here, aka fireworm. Those little white bristles you see around the outside of its body, those will stab into you and burn like fire. That's why it's called fireworm. See, you just puffed all those bristles out. Just daring me to touch him. These guys eat corals. Very, very common on these rigs. Viz here is not as good as it often is. I'd say it's maybe 75 feet. A lot of times it's better than 100. It might not even be 75, to be honest. That was a hydroid, that feathery white looking plant there. All of that's hydroid there. Again, if you rub your bare skin against that, like your bare stomach, it would kind of sting you like nettle, but it wouldn't last very long. It's pretty minor. So I'm going to deband. I'm going to go down to one band here. I'm going to shoot this little strawberry grouper, but he saw it coming a mile away and he wasn't having it. So I kind of just hanging around this corner, just kind of stalking these small fish now. I've kind of given up on shooting anything big. I'm just looking for small grays or little strawberry grouper, stuff like that. I'm going to try to pin this guy in here, see if I can't single band him. I know it's going to damage my tip. It would be worth it if I hit him, but dang it, I missed him and still probably flatten my tip out. Again, just kind of hanging out here at the chain, just looking for targets of opportunity. There's a bluehead wrasse there. The yellow ones are the females. That one there is the male. Swimming around. He's got a blue head. It's, again, the colors are pretty muted here. Those are Bermuda chubs. Look down in the leg of the rig here. That goes down pretty far. Again, always scanning around. Sometimes cobia will sneak up on you. Turn around, it'll be 60-pound cobia 5 feet away from you. 42 feet, 61 minutes time remaining. I'm at 1,000 psi. I'm getting down to a point on air where I've got a little more that I want to go up with, but I'm kind of done and I'm kind of bored. So again, I'm just kind of sitting here looking for targets of opportunity. Just wasting maybe just a little bit more air, maybe a couple hundred psi, but kind of decide it's just really not just worth sitting here any longer. I'm just going to go ahead and start hitting up. You can see the chain is pretty overgrown here. Some of that sponge. Of course, I'm getting back into the zone here, and I have to start dodging these moon jellies again here momentarily. Right, you see the surface just up above. I'm going to come up, and because I've been down, I've been taking on all this extra nitrogen. I'm at 22 feet. You can see the bottom of my computer there said 20. That's my safety stop depth. I have the computer set, hey, at 20 feet, I want to do my 3-minute safety stop. So that's what I'm going to do here. Once I hit 20 feet, I'm going to try to stay between 15 and 20. And while I'm dodging all these jellies here, what's happening is I'm just sitting here bored. I'm admiring what's on my stringer, just kind of hanging out, waiting for 3 minutes to expire. And what's happening is I'm off-gassing basically a lot of that nitrogen, extra nitrogen that I took on by being really deep. Now that I'm up shallow, my body's getting rid of it through normal respiration. And I want to try to, just as a safety precaution, I'm going to get rid of this, about 3 minutes worth before I head on up to the surface. Now in theory, I don't have to do this. We just do this as an added safety precaution, but it's very boring. I kind of left it intact here. I did speed it up quite a bit, but that was the entire 3 minutes. I sat there a full 3 minutes, just looking side to side, dodging jellyfish, and just waiting for that timer to be up. So it's finally up. I'm going to start heading up the line here. The GoPro can't ever decide if it wants to be green or blue. So momentarily it wants to be green. Again, coming up the buoy chain. There's our rope to the boat. We are in a very small boat. See some muscles attached to the buoy there. It's about a 10-foot tall buoy. The whole thing is underwater. See the top of the rig? That's at about 40 feet deep. I'm still at about 10 feet underwater. Viz is not great. I'd say up near the surface, Viz is only maybe 40 foot at best. A little better at depth, but not a lot. So here's the boat. See, as I'm coming up, other divers are getting ready to head down. We'll kind of just swap out. I'll come alongside here. I'm going to want to hand in my gun, any of the fish that I have. Kind of want to get that off me. I don't know what's below me, taking a look. Also, I don't want to have to try to climb in and handle my gun and all that while I'm climbing into the boat here. So I'm going to hand that in. I'm taking my fish off here. I'm going to hand that in the boat. So I'm going to take that for me. I'm going to go ahead and swim around to the back. Climb in. These gentlemen are going to do their dive. I will do a surface interval, just kind of hang out on the surface for about an hour, hour and a half. I think on this trip specifically, we did pretty much an hour, and then we geared up and then kind of got right back down. So that's ending dive number 2, technically, first in the video. So I'm going to throw the second one in here. This one, I'm not going to leave this entire dive intact. This one is, I'm going to chop this up like I normally would. I'm going to do a lot of cut scenes here, right? I rolled over, I'm in the water, right? Let's get down to the bottom, get down to business. This dive will be a little bit shorter on the video here. Again, I'll just kind of include the shots on this one. Right, so again, stopped at 40. I'm going to get the gun loaded up. Tip's kind of tangled here, get that undone. Get that set and ready to go. I'm going to head down. I'm down at the 120s. Same path I took before. That's the same anode I dropped down on before. Again, I'm down at 120 feet. Those are Horseye Jacks. 4 minutes of time remaining. Right as soon as I got here, I've only got 4 minutes now, where earlier I had about 10. Again, I've done 2 dives already. I off-gas on the surface, but not all of it, so when I come back down, it really shorted me on time. Again, a bunch of these fish, some of them are Creole fish. I'm down to 3 minutes now. There's a weight here. I picked this up, and it's covered in bristle worms. That's crazy. It had a piece of bait on it, and the worms were eating the bait that was on the hook. It kind of came off when I jerked on it. Cuban hogfish here with the yellow tails. That's lots of Cuban hogfish. I don't normally see that many. There's Horseye Jacks down below. Inside the rig here, there's kind of a mix of Vermillion and Gray and Almaco Jacks and a little bit of everything. Creole fish. A bunch of those are Creole fish. I do see some Grays. Those are headed away from me. And I'm kind of running out of time here. Those are Horseye Jacks down to the right. Down a little deeper. There's some decent Gray right up here. Not a great angle. I'll take it. Right. A lot of times you get a glancing blow. What happened here, I did retain the fish, but it went in the backside on his left side, and it came out the front on his left side. So there's only a little bit of skin holding that, retaining that fish. If he were any bigger, he'd probably just tear off there. But again, I'm out of time. I basically had time enough to go down there, shoot one little gray snapper, and head up. Pencil urchin here. Not very common. You don't get to see those very commonly. Long spine urchins are much more common. Again, I shot that guy. I'm all the way up back at 42 feet. I'm basically out of time to be down on the bottom. I got about 2,200 PSI. So I still got plenty of time to be shallow, but I'm pretty much done down deep. So I just shot him. I brought him up shallow. I'm going to go ahead and get him strung up. Got quite a miss going on here. Right, but I'll go ahead and dispatch him so he doesn't fight me. Right, knife straight right behind the eyeballs into the brain case, twist the knife, and usually that mouth opens and they're just done. Poke that straight through his eyeballs. I'm not going to go up through the gills, straight through the eyes. I can fit more of them on the stringer that way. Now I don't have to hold the fish. I can deal with the gun and try to get this tangled out. course, the current is just pushing me right off of the rig here. Luckily, somehow this thing just untangled itself. I got really, really lucky there. Again, that's the only thing holding that fish on. You see just a little bit of skin. Went in the back and came out the front on the same side. That's why you want a perpendicular shot and not a glancing blow. Of course, I did my little tour of the top here. I hit the four corners. I'm coming back to the corner with the chain and the buoy. I'm just going to kind of hang out in this corner. I'm looking for small targets of opportunity. I see Creole fish. Barracuda's in the distance out here. Again, always checking behind you. Bunch of bluehead wrasse here. They're all yellow, but those are bluehead wrasse. A couple of damsels. Coming back up to the corner here, there's this little speckled hind. Everybody calls them strawberry grouper. It's a very common name for people to use for these little fish. But it's a speckled hind. They don't really have any limits on them. They're not too bad to eat. So, speckled hind, corner pocket. Got him. Good enough. He's kind of small for this shaft, but shot him through the gill plate there, and got a couple good little fillets off of that guy. Again, he's so small, I'm not even going to brain him. He's not going to put up much of a fight anyway. I think he's pretty much already done. Just the shaft passing through him did him in pretty good. Very spiny, very pokey as they're hanging on the stringer there. Now again, down below we saw a lot of Cuban hogfish. This is a Spanish hogfish. The entire belly is yellow. A little bit of yellow on his nose. The Cuban, the back of the dorsal on the top is yellow into the top of the tail, and that's it. And they have a white stripe down their side. They're actually red. You can't tell that at depth. You can't hardly even tell that they have the white stripe. Mostly what you see is the lighter and darker, and you can kind of tell where the yellow is. But the Spanish have the entire yellow belly, and the Cubans just the top portion of the tail. So I've never eaten one of these guys. This guy's buzzing around in my face. He's just kind of like asking for it. So if he's just going to give it up, I think I wouldn't mind trying to eat one of these guys just to see if they're any good. It is a hogfish after all. I've never eaten one before. I know they're not venomous or poisonous or anything. Again, I'm just targets of opportunity here. They're not very shy. So peg that guy. Again, just like the hind, the strawberry grouper, it's going to be a couple little bitty fillets, but again, the purpose is just to kind of try this out. I'll try anything once. Just curious how it tastes. I have not eaten it yet. He's in the freezer. I have not eaten it, but the meat was very, very white. It was surprisingly soft, almost mushy, like catfish. Like really, really soft. Softer than I expected. Not firm at all. Haven't eaten it yet, but very, very white. Look very edible. I guess we'll find out. You can see those teeth as he opens his mouth. Kind of purple and yellow. Very, very common on the rigs. Down here to the left, you see some gray snapper coming up. They didn't see me. I was on top of the pipe. As soon as I come around and they see me, they double back. They did a very quick U-turn. They're all heading right back down the pipe now that they know I'm there. One, luckily for me, this one gets kind of stupid and decides to come in for one last second look. And he catches a shaft right through the eyeball. Little gray snapper or mangrove snapper, same thing. They look kind of similar to Cubero. Sometimes they can kind of change color. Sometimes they're kind of a brick red. Out here offshore, they're usually kind of this color, kind of a lighter gray. It was his mouth opened and he was done as soon as I twisted that blade. That's kind of what you want to see. Again, a few small, kind of random hinds and groupers or something here. These look like juvenile groupers. I'm not sure exactly what they are. There's a rock hind. I think at least one of those is another speckled hind. But at this point, I've kind of given up. I said, I've got my stringer's worth. I've got a few fish for the frying pan, and that'll kind of end the video here. Again, this was 3 dives. I only included dive 2 and 3. Dive 1 was no shooting, so I just kind of omitted that here. Good trip with Felix and a group of divers here. We got out here, shot quite a few fish. I think everybody else shot quite a few fish as well. And had a pretty good time with this group for a couple of days. There was also a dive at City Service. Didn't shoot anything out there though, so I didn't really include any videos for that. But anyway, good diving with everybody here. Thanks Felix for taking us out. Thank you guys for watching the videos. I'll have more videos out as soon as I have a chance here. But I hope to see you guys on the next one.
On the surface.